Breeding is of paramount importance to the racing industry, and this year the Irish Stallion Trail saw over 25 stud farms opening their doors to breeders and racing fans alike to see some of the great horses producing the champions of tomorrow.
This is in fact our 5th year with the trail, and this year we've had 28 farms on board across the country, big and small, and it's allowed people the opportunity to go behind the scenes and reconnect with some of these horses, because of course we've seen them on the television winning these brilliant races in Ireland and abroad, and we've been wowed by their exploits on the track, but sometimes we can lose them from sight a little bit, but they continue to play a key role in racing, of course, by siring the coming generations of race horses who then go on to succeed at the high level themselves. So that's really what the trail is all about.
It's a great initiative that's run by the ITM and through HRI, and it draws our neighbours to us, and it gives people just a chance to see what happens inside the gate of these stud farms. So it's a very important 2 days, and we're halfway through the first day here. We've already had about 150 people in, and the majority are not directly involved in the industry, and they just get a chance to see what's happening here. So
we used to always have stallion open days for our clients, going back the years, maybe back 15 years. But we took the opportunity to join with the Irish Stallion Trail, and that worked in very well. Now we do 2 days, and we're open to the public as well as our regular clients. So I think it works very well.
It's a privilege to show them, number one, and these are the racing fans that have supported this horse, supported the industry. To have it in a couple of days is great. The public and the breeders who want to come can always come and do business with us and talk to us about their stallions and their mating plans. But it's nice to have these days as well, so that the people who want to remember or had a bet years ago on Yates saw him winning the Gold Cup, and you know, these horses have privileged and thrilled us for many years, and it's good to be able to give something back, I think.
It's a chance for people when they know a place is open, they don't feel under obligation asking to come to see the stallions. People who mightn't have a mare or might have followed horses racing, and they can come in and see it, and might be an introduction to the breeding end of things for them, you know.
Here in Ireland we have beautiful bloodlines that we are seeking to propagate throughout Ireland, throughout Europe, throughout the world, because Irish horses have huge success across the globe in some of the world's most prestigious races, and we want to really champion this. And within ITM, this is our real aim. We want to spread the message about the success of Irish horses. We want to engage with international people and get them involved in the Irish industry, and allow the Irish industry to flourish and continue its huge contribution that it makes to Ireland, whether it be economically, whether it be socially, whether it be culturally. It's absolutely huge in Ireland, and we should be really proud of this, and the ITM Irish Stallion Trail is a great way to get that message out there and celebrate it across the country with thousands of people turning out.
Kildangan, it's a world famous farm. It's a flagship for Sheikh Mohammed, and we have some fantastic stallions here, and people can maybe just get a small sense of what we do. The stallions is a big part of what we do, but it's only just a smaller thing in the grand scheme of what we do in rearing Sheikh Mohammed's horses and supplying horses that we've had success with, like Massar last year, the Derby winner that came from Blackhall Stud, and like Quarto that came from O'Connell Stud. So we play a big part in the whole global Godolphin world here in Kildangan in Ireland.
We're very privileged to have this horse. There was a lot of international market stallion farms around the world looking for him because of his pedigree. He's out of a known sister to Kodiak. Kodiak was champion stallion in Europe this year, last year as well, champion sire of 2-year-olds. He's also the mother of Gustav Klimt, is also a half-sister to Invincible Spirit, the major horse in the Irish National Stud. So he has a super pedigree, and he's by Galileo, the sire of all sires, the son of Sadler's Wells. It has been a privilege to work here and see this developing all over my lifetime. But this horse could be possibly better than Kodiak, because Kodiak got 4th in a Group 1 horse, in a Group 1 race. This horse was 3 times Group 1 placed. He's also a winner of the Superlative Stakes in Newmarket, which is a top-class 2-year-old sire-making race. He's got great movement, great athleticism, and he's got good limbs, and I think he's going to be a big plus. And if he'll do anything like what Kodiak did for the small breeders of Ireland up for the O'Callaghan family, he's going to leave a legacy behind him as well. That's what we're hoping.
He's stamping his stock very strongly, so he's a pure breeding bay. They have that great Dane Hill walk that I love to see, and they have his fantastic temperament, and we're very pleased with him. And it was great yesterday, was one of the great pleasures of the weekend, was that his rider Pat Smullen and his wife Frances were here, came down to see the horse. They like him and have sent him some mares, and so it was absolutely fantastic to see Pat looking so well and so optimistic about the future. And I think the entire industry is, right behind him in his quest to overcome a huge challenge.
We were always watching him when he was racing in England. He was very precocious and well-made horse. He was a very good 2-year-old. He won the Malcolm and the Cornwallis, second in the Flying Childers, placed also at Royal Ascot in the Windsor Castle. So we were looking at him, and then when he came up available for purchase, we bought him. Then we went out and we advertised him, showed him people. Lucky enough, we had people use him as a stallion. And then his progeny went at the track this year, and he was knocking heads all the way from the start against No Nay Never, which is great. It was a great year because we were there and the small guy, and they had a bigger operation, but our lad kept going and kept producing winners and ended up with 27 individual winners, and finished high on the Four Seasons sires table, and has increased in service fee this year, and is going to be very well supported next year.
Last year we retired Ribchester, a phenomenal winner of the Queen Anne, broke a track record that day in Ascot by our own Ifraj. And then also now this year we're going to stand in Jungle Cat, who's another son of Ifraj, exceptional 2-year-old, very impressive, kind of starts at 2 in the Coventry, beating Muharar and Bellardo in the July Stakes, and also being second again to Muharar in Yorkville later on. So he's a solid horse, and he broke a track record in Dubai, went on to win the Alquaz, won 7 furlong Group 1 winner in Australia. So he's here now in Ireland as hopefully something different to offer breeders, and yeah, we're very excited about that.
Casamento, he has a great sire line, Shamardal, Giant's Causeway. People would just love that sire line, and he was a fantastic racehorse. Michael Hanford trained him as a 2-year-old when he won the Beresford Stakes, and he won the Group 1 Racing Post Trophy. Then he went to England and he won as a 3-year-old in France over a mile and 2. So from a racing point of view, he had the right credentials as well. He went to stud. He's just been at stud for 3 seasons, and he's a prolific sire of winners. Just in 3 seasons with 3 crops racing, he's sired the winners of over 230 races. And that's for a stallion who didn't stand at a huge fee at stud when he first went to stud. I think he stood at 5,000. And if a stallion is getting that many winners, he's transferring something to his progeny, something good.
We want these farms to see some direct worth in the trail. So we want the nominations to be sold, and having gone around a lot of farms myself over the 2 days, this has been happening, so I'm really happy about this. We've got breeders in from many countries across the globe. We have many in from Britain, of course, which is a huge market for Irish thoroughbreds. We've had from France, from Germany, from Spain, from Italy, from Scandinavia, and from America and further afield. So that's really what we're aiming to do here at ITM, spread the message internationally, engage with people, and help the Irish industry to flourish for decades and centuries to come, because the sport goes back decades and centuries in Ireland, and we want to see that continue long into the future.